In this example, I need to factor completely the trinomial 2x squared minus 5x minus 12. Well, what's the first thing we do with every factoring problem? We look for a common factor between all the terms. Looking at the numbers, I have 2, 5, and 12. There is no numerical common factor, and not every term has an x, so this trinomial has no common factor. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to compare it to ax squared plus bx plus c. A is the coefficient of the x squared term, it is 2. B is the coefficient of the x, it is negative 5. C is the constant term of negative 12. Now I'm going to factor this problem using the AC or grouping method, so I need to multiply A, which is 2, by C, which is negative 12. 2 times negative 12 is negative 24. So I need two numbers that multiply to AC, which is negative 24, and they add to B, where B is negative 5. Now, hopefully these numbers come to you quickly, but I'm going to show you a systematic method if you can't find the numbers. Since my two numbers multiply to a negative, they have opposite signs, and since they add to a negative, the one with the negative has to be the bigger absolute value. So I'm going to start with 1 times negative 24 that multiplies to negative 24. But what do they add to? 1 plus a negative 24 is negative 23. Not what I want. Does 2 go into 24? Yes. So I'm going to have 2 times negative 12. And what do those two add up to? 2 and a negative 12 add up to negative 10. Now, is that the number I'm looking for? No. So keep going. Does 3 divide into 24? Yes. So I'm going to have 3 times negative 8 is negative 24. And 3 plus a negative 8 adds up to negative 5. That is the number I'm looking for. But remember, 3 and negative 8 are not my factors. I'm going to use those to break my middle term of negative 5x down into two separate terms. So I'm going to have 2x squared, and instead of negative 5x, I'm going to have plus 3x, then minus 8x, minus 12, because 3x minus 8x is negative 5x. The reason we do that is we now have 4 terms. How do you factor 4 terms? By grouping. Now, what do the first 2 terms have in common? Just an x. So if you factor an x out of 2x squared, it leaves 2x plus, if you factor an x out of a 3x, it's going to leave a 3. Now bring down the middle sign, so I have minus. What do the last 2 have in common? They have a 4 in common. Now be careful, I'm factoring out a negative 4. So if you factor a negative 4 out of a negative 8x, it's going to leave positive 2x. If you factor a negative 4 out of a negative 12, it's going to leave a positive 3. If you're not sure if you got this part correct, you can check it by distributing in the negative 4 to see if you land up with this expression. Now, did factoring by grouping work? Is this binomial the same as this one? Yes, so that is your common binomial factor that you factor in front. So I have 2x plus 3. And what goes in the second parentheses? Well, what's left? X minus 4. So now I have factored this trinomial. And don't forget, how can you check every single factoring problem? You can multiply this out to see if you land up with the original expression.